League of Legends is the largest played game in the entire world, with almost 27 million people playing every single month. Now this game might just be a little terrifying for new players, as it requires you to learn new techniques, controls, and strategies on the spot with little time to stop and think. Hopefully this guide will allow you to slowly ease yourself into the horrific depths of what is known as the Summoner's Rift, and make the experience a whole lot better for you. So, shall we continue to how to start playing League of Legends? Yes, I think so. The number one most important rule to starting a new, fresh account on League of Legends is to play with your friends. Your friends are already a huge part of your life, and this is just another experience for you to hold together. Playing alongside each other will make everything so much more exciting and will dull the scary thoughts of League itself. You'll queue up with your mate, get hyped for the game, and finally load into the Summoner's Rift, where you'll find your champion idly standing at the fountain waiting for some interaction. But you have no idea what to do with yourself. You're just standing there, man, come on. So the game will tell you what to do and tell you how to play. So my advice is to just do whatever it tells you to do and read everything it says so you can gain a larger knowledge base so you can understand the more important fundamentals of the game. Play the champions that interest you, not the ones that everyone else tells you to. People all around you will tell you how strong some champions are in the current meta, but you don't have time for that bazingo. You're still learning how to play the flipping game, for God's sake. If you want to play Leona mid lane as an AP carry, which I'll explain later, then go ahead and do it. It's all part of your learning experience. Enjoy every moment of it, guys. I'm telling you, if you start the game off with a tantrum or even in tears, it's not going to go down well. Whether you're constantly dying, losing, or screaming for that matter, just make sure you are enjoying it. If you're having a tough time and you're trying to have fun, just take a break, turn the computer off for a while. We all need a good break for once in a while, even if it's from video games. Finally, never give up, even if you really want to quit. My girlfriend always wants to leave games after she's died a few times, but you know what? Don't let a few deaths drag you down. Games in League of Legends can always be turned around almost instantly. Just try your hardest and be persistent. Well, now you've probably just got a million questions buzzing around in your mind searching for answers, but you simply can't find the right one. What are the 3 lanes for? What do these little minions do? What is the actual aim of the game? How do we win? Questions like these are probably the ones that are catching your attention, so let me quickly give you a little rundown on the basics. Well, surprisingly enough, the little minions are one of the most important factors of the entire game and affect how you play out. There are generally 6 minions in each wave, 3 caster or mage minions and 3 fighter minions. Every third wave there is an additional cannon minion which is stronger and has more health. Surprisingly enough, these minions are your main source of gold income. There is a technique called last hitting, which states that whenever you deal the killing blow on an enemy minion, you gain a small portion of gold, usually ranging from 15 to 20 per minion. Now it may not seem like much for just one minion, but added up to when you've killed 100 minions, you'll be scoring yourself around 2000 gold. Well, in Summoner's Rift, there are 3 main lanes that make up the terrain or the map of the game. There is the top lane, obviously found at the top of the map, or found on the minimap which is found in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, the mid lane, and the bot lane, which can also be referred to as bottom, but we don't really say that. Each lane has 3 towers and 1 inhibitor, in which stop you from progressing towards a nexus without getting hurt. Well, the game is based around destroying the enemy nexus, which is found at opposing corners of the map. Once you break through the 3 towers and the 1 inhibitor that I mentioned earlier, you then have to destroy the 2 nexus towers that are guarding the main nexus. Once you have destroyed everything in your path, you're free to take the win. But it's not as simple as it sounds. There are a whole team of 5 individuals playing who are out for the same quest that you uphold in your agenda, so stick with the team and be strategic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest factors of League of Legends is the minions, because they give you money, and with money you can buy items and make your champion stronger. But for each individual champion, there are different builds that allow the champion to deal as much damage as it possibly can. Now before we start talking about that, let's identify champions who use ability power and attack damage. Ability power, or AP, is the power level per se of all mages or casters that require the statistic to do damage with their abilities. Mages and casters tend to be extremely reliant on just their abilities rather than their auto attacks. These champions include some like Annie, Katarina, Ryze, Syndra, or Victor. The ability power indicator will be presented in a green color in your game. Attack damage, or AD, is the stat in which defines how much damage your auto attacks are going to do against enemy champions and minions. Of course, attack damage still affects certain champions' ability damage, but that's only if they hold the correct damage ratios. The attack damage indicator will be represented in an orange color. Some of these champions include Ashe, Garen, Riven, Irelia, or Master Yi. Now, using the knowledge on ability power and attack damage, let's look at the types of items you can buy for each of these categories. The starting items for both statistics includes a Doran's Ring for AP champions and a Doran's Blade for AD champions. These items both give the right stats to the respective category. From here you progress to buy items that cost a lot more and will take a little bit of time to save up for. Some major items for AD champions include Ravenous Hydra, Bloodthirster, Blade of the Ruined King, Black Cleaver, or Trinity Force. Some major items for AP champions include Rabadon's Deathcap, Luden's Echo, Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Rod of Ages, or the Void Staff. While building damage items can be a really good strategic attempt in winning, building what's called tank can also be very suitable for your playstyle. Tank simply refers to a champion in which has a lot of health and defenses and is difficult to kill. Building items with armor will protect you against AD champions, while building magic resist will protect you against AP champions. Some tank items include Banshee's Veil, Randuin's Omen, Spirit Visage, Warmog's Armor, or Frozen Heart. Now, let's talk about abilities. Each champion holds a set of 4 main abilities and a unique passive. Now each time you level up in-game from collecting experience from killing minions, you are able to level up an ability. The 4 abilities include your Q, your W, your E, and your R, which is also referred to as your ultimate. Your basic abilities withhold your Q, W, and E, while your R is usually your strongest ability. Each ability has what's called a cooldown. A cooldown is simply a timer in which indicates how long the time is until you can use your ability again. Most basic abilities have a cooldown of around 10 seconds, while the ultimate sometimes surpasses 60 seconds. You can upgrade your basic abilities after you level up your champion to any specific level. However, you can only upgrade your ultimate at level 6, 11, and 16. The max level for every champion is 18. Now, with all of this information about abilities, itemization, and statistics in mind, we can move on to identifying the main roles that are present in League of Legends. First off, let's identify the top lane roles. These mainly include fighters and bruisers. Fighters are high DPS or damage per second, champions that generally have a smaller amount of health than others but focus on their auto attacks. Bruisers, however, are pretty tanky in a sense, however they still deal quite a lot of damage based off their attack damage. Now moving on to the mid lane, where there is 2 main roles as well. These include the Mage and Assassin classes. Mages focus on their ability power to cast spells from their basic abilities. However, Assassins still do the same, but they focus on bursting down an enemy champion as fast as possible, as they have a very small amount of health. Moving on to the bot lane, where there are still two different classes. In the bot lane, there is generally two people working together as a team. These two people consist of the support and the ADC. The support usually runs a tank champion that can soak up a lot of damage, whereas the ADC runs as a marksman, who are long-ranged shooters with low health. Lastly, there is one more special role that may be a bit confusing to the ears of a newbie. However, there is the jungler role. The jungler is one of the most strategic roles in League of Legends, as all they do is constantly roam around the jungle area of the map, killing the natural monsters that spawn to gain gold and experience. Junglers tend to have a large variety of different roles, including mages, assassins, bruisers, tanks, and fighters. You can go crazy in the jungle if you want, but that's your decision. Now, I hope all you new people playing League of Legends will use this information and tips to make sure you make the best out of your League of Legends experience. I hope to see you guys some other day, but for now, have a good day.
You're my heartbeat, my silent drum, that is skin.